Time now is 6 p.m. This is the special meeting of the Carrizo Springs Consolidated Independent School District Board of Trustees, dated December the 10th, 2015. The time now is 6 p.m. And may I have roll call, please?
José Talamantes.
Jan Estrada.
Jesse Salazar.
Alfredo Castañeda.
Lisa Cadena.
Carl Fisher. Rodney Bettis.
Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. Agenda item number 3, Human Resources, Mr. Michael Villegas. Discussion and possible action regarding the staffing review for Carrizo Springs CSISD by Texas Association of Schools. Good evening to all of you.
Good evening, sir.
This item, Dr. Salazar and I began a discussion, and he initiated contact with TASB, and I was just there this afternoon in the session regarding staffing. So I'm bringing fresh information. What we're looking at here, what Dr. Salazar has been discussing, is a review of staffing throughout the district. What that would entail is TASB folks coming in. What they've showed, they can start in January. You all approve this. Between January and March, they would come in and interview our administrators, interview teachers, interview all key stakeholders from each campus and within the district to get an idea of where we're at staffing-wise at each campus, where we're at staffing-wise with maintenance, how is this cost-effective with these folks? Are we over and under in particular areas, particular campuses, particular departments? And just give us some feedback on where we can improve or where we need to possibly move some folks and things along that line. They have already sent us a price quote. We're looking at it. They're saying about $7,000 for a district our size. And if you all are approve of this, like I said, this is something that they can get in here between January and March and get this up and rolling.
So we will know something prior to, that information will be good for the budget that we.
Exactly. It would work out perfectly, both with budget and with renewal of staff when we're looking at contracts and we're looking at bringing folks back or moving folks around heading into the summer.
So I think it's something that is quite needed to look at the whole district as far as what we have, where we need to improve, where we need to cut, if there's cuts to be made. Does this include maintenance and transportation?
Most definitely.
The whole, the entire
Yes, sir.
district?
Yes, sir.
And including cafeteria?
Yes, sir.
And aids? And all
That is correct. Yes, sir. And what they emphasized at that session this morning, it ties directly to budget, but that's they're going to look at PEMS data, they're going to look at testing scores, they're going to look at what type of instruction is happening at each campus and how the staff can match to those particular campuses and particular grade levels and different things along that line. They would compare us to a district our size as well, anybody in the area or anyone within the state. They don't look, tax is not, how much tax we're bringing in is not an issue. They don't look at that. They just look at how are we serving students, and how are we helping our district, and community. Tax basis.
Any questions?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Do you have any idea what the travel expenses are going to be?
Travel expenses.
Well, it says 7,000 plus travel expenses.
Oh, and they didn't get into that specific.
Figure
Yeah, they didn't get into that specific. Like I said, they say it's a two to 3 month process, and with the districts our size, they were saying more like 2 months. They would come in, do their work, and then report back to us. at the end, once it's all said and done, they would give us suggestions and ideas. They wouldn't specifically say, you should do this. It would be more of, here's what we've observed, here's what we suggest, and it would be up to us to put a plan together and look at what we have and what needs to be accomplished.
How many times are they going to be coming in?
They
Because
didn't
we're
get
looking at travel expenses, and
Right.
that's what I'd like to have a more accurate.
I can follow up on that for you. They didn't get into that.
So they're gonna come every single day for 2 months. That goes nowhere.
Yeah,
But they're just coming once a week.
but my understanding, yeah, I'll find out for sure. I wouldn't want to give you, but I will find out for sure. That's a good question.
Mr. Sessions, there's been a study where Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes, there was an individual come by to look as far as the efficiency of our staff. That's correct, there was a study done on that. This one is similar, but the difference is that they're going to look as far as the master schedules. And if I may, and of course, Mr. Villegas will verify this, but there's 2 visits based on the information that I received that they would conduct. And in those 2 visits is where they would look as far as interviews through all their staff, again, looking at the master schedules and so forth, so that they will therefore look at best practices through their research and then look at peer districts. And that's what they will be presenting to us as a study from TASB that shows this is how we rank, how we compare, and where we can have savings based on all the district data that they provide. But again, in answering your question, and that's what he will verify, it was 2 visits that I saw there, just to let you know.
but the other one was
But it wasn't TASB, it was a gentleman from Kellner, or Keller ISD, that I think appeared to be
consultant.
Mr. Villegas, my question that I was going to pose is partially answered through what you have said, what Mr. Salazar, Dr. Salazar said. How far back have they been in practice of creating this data or making these visits and actually trimming the fat or adding to or taking away from? How long have they been doing this before?
TASB, you're saying?
Yes.
The folks I visited with today, one gentleman was fairly new, and the other lady had been there a while. And they said they've been doing these kinds of things for the past 7 years. Those folks specifically.
Okay.
Those folks.
So their recommendations would be warranted
Oh yes,
through their knowledge.
most definitely.
Okay.
And they base this, like Dr. Salazar just mentioned. They'll look at other districts and they're bringing in, what are the state trends and things along that line. As far as one of the things they pointed out is teaching. Texas teaching certificates are down. We're not getting teachers like we used to, and of course we know that, bilingual certified teachers, we're not getting those folks. Those are just some of the things that they mentioned. Things that they
Okay. Thank you.
And if I may add, in the end, just thinking with the end in mind, the focus, once we have this detailed information through the study, if the board approves, we move forward on, is that once we have that, then therefore the district, we can establish guidelines, in other words, a staffing plan that gives guidance that the board is aware and that we can therefore work with throughout the district so that we know for the future as far as, there's what we're looking as far as maintaining based on student population at the respective campuses, how much manpower in each key position, even those individualized positions such as special ed in certain areas. But that's what the focus is here, so that there's direction and everybody's aware moving forward to have good practices in place.
So these recommendations are solely purely on the I guess, teacher to student ratio?
Correct. Ratio interviews, how, you brought up a good point, one of the ladies there specialized, her area was special ed, so I mean, she would look at, our numbers of kids, where are we short, things along that line. Yeah.
They'll look at everything,
Oh, most definitely.
not just the needs, but also where we need it.
Correct.
Has nothing to do with the budget.
No, sir.
So they'll be looking at the certifications also to see where we can.
That's a very good point. That was mentioned. Do we have certified people on one campus that could probably benefit at another campus? That was a good point that they brought up. Yes.
So they'll be looking at that.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll make a motion, we,
Let me, I haven't had a chance to, I always been asleep. I always wait until the last person to speak. Michael, what really brought this to the district to do this assessment, district-wide, excuse me? I know that we met standard, all over the district, and we're doing so well, right now in complying with the district with the testing. all the campuses and district-wide, and we do have a fund balance too, right? I hope we don't have to start doing some kind of reduction in force. I like to have what we have right now. I don't want to pick something that's already working. I mean, I know that good staffing is good for the district, but I think that's one thing that we have. We have good administrators, we have good teachers, and most of the teachers are certified. I believe that we look at the possibility of highly qualified individuals. I'm welcome to do the needs assessment in the district and find out, but I still have those questions. We have a fund balance, we're doing well, we have a good group of administrators, teachers, and I still believe that we met standard district-wide, and that tells you that we have good administrators and we have good staffing. But that's fine. I would welcome also passing to time, but I'm concerned about expenses that we're going to be making. Like she was saying, how much will it cost, the total cost? They're going to be here every week. They're going to charge us mileage. They're going to charge us lodging. See, there's a lot of things that we need to take into consideration before I vote on it. I need to know exactly how much money we're going to be spending. Well, I want to know, I want to see, what in July, I don't know, I want to see the whole picture. How much are we going to be spending with this assessment on the district on the staffing, which is something that I believe in my administrators, I believe in my superintendent, I believe in you, and the administrators, that they can work and do an individual needs assessment and make the recommendations to the board.
I totally agree. I'm like, they're going to type up something that they're interviewing us for. You're going to pay somebody $7,000 to interview me and then put an assessment together?
Well,
I could do that for free.
Well, that's what
I mean, it's very obvious when you see a master schedule where you're overstaffed.
That's what I'm trying to
Yeah,
tell.
and that's why I said I totally agree with what you're saying. They're going to interview us to give them the information to type it up and charge $7,000. It just, but I get what you're saying. That's why I'm like, I agree.
I believe it's a lot more detailed than that.
Right.
And there's sometimes, if we try to do it internally, there are things that we won't see that outsiders
Somebody can look at it.
can look at it better.
We've never had this done. We've never had it done. So I think it's needed for some outsiders to look at what's going on, where we can help, get help, or where we need or move or something. But we've never had this done at all. We had that done by the consultant company. It wasn't happening.
The focus here is to provide the guidance as we look at the staffing frame. You want to have a good start as far as information where people, that's what they do, and as far as having peer groups that they study, so that we have a good start as far as how we're going to continue as far as manning our district. And so that's important. Instead of emotional being involved, we're going to get this piece that's established, because I know sometimes when we go through the budget process, you have a lot of information that comes to you all. And so by having this piece in place and agreeing on a staffing plan that we can have guidelines by it that y'all are familiar with, it's important so we can move forward. And being careful with the budget also.
Go ahead.
Months, both of you, Dr. Salazar, you're pretty aged. Have any of you been involved in one of these before in your career?
As far as a TASB
What
study,
this
the only similar one is one with the head of the previous superintendent. That's the only one other than the studies that I've read that they've done, which I have.
We've had studies on salaries, compared to the salaries from that they do perform good.
And my other one was, have they done this at other school districts that we know about?
Within our area, no. I know Dr. Salazar has shared with me some other districts our size.
Is there anybody we can call?
There was La Feria, Burbank, Burnett, and I have those in the office that I looked up when I researched this information. Even Science Fair, I mean, they've had multiple districts where they've done their studies, and I can provide that. I looked at, it's an in-depth study. It shows where you could potentially save money, and then also as far as the neighboring or the peer districts that they evaluate, and they give written description as far as what they feel the best.
Have you
practices
called
are.
anybody for Burnett?
No, I didn't make the
Buffalo?
contact other than what I read as far as that information and the information that he shared during his visit. That's where I was at.
I'd just be kind of curious to,
Other than the communication, also that I made contact to Luis Cadena, who's at TASB, who they referred me to Cindy Clegg, is the name that made contact on that.
Correct.
About their services.
She's been here today.
So this is information that is in your office?
Yes, that's correct.
I'd like to see some of that.
You talked to them today?
Yes, sir, I was just there knocking.
Do I have a motion?
Well, do we want to wait till we get that other?
Specific costs, yes.
I'd like to look at
But one option, we have to table the item for your next meeting. I think there's one next week, or could be on.
Do I have a motion to table the item? Do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have a second? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Our current contract or agreement with them, this agreement that they provided will expire on December 20th, what they provided.
Our meeting is on December 15th.
I can have that info.
So it's not an item, but go ahead, please.
I can have it.
And then you can get that information to that. Okay. Moving on to agenda item number 4, executive session, discussion authorized by Texas Open Meeting Act, Texas Government Code 551.001, ETSQ, 551.074, personnel matters, conduct level 3 grievance hearing requested by employee Michelle Calderon. And the time now is 6:21. We're back in open session. No action was taken in closed session, so we go to agenda item number 5, possible action in 551.074, personnel matters, level 3 grievance hearing, requested by employee Michelle Calderon. Do I have a motion?
Mr. President,
Yes.
I make a motion and we deny the grievance.
We have a motion to deny the agreement. Do we have a second?
I second that motion.
We have a second. Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Agenda item number 6, adjourned. Do we have a motion? We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Against, motion carries. Thank you all.